I feel like everyone is so obsessed around the world right now. I'm just gonna keep tomahawking as I fucking.
Let's go, dude.
Is that racist? No.
No, you're good.
Or just. But I mean, have you ever? Do you? I one time was on stage and I was doing this, and there's an audience member up front who kept doing it back. They were like, "That's rules," and I was like, "What, this?" And they got really into like, "Yeah." They kept doing it back and were like having the greatest 2 minutes of their life.
That's fun.
And sometimes you're like, oh yeah, I guess what we do is get on stage and just scream our insecurities into a void for strangers to devour and go, oh man, if they're that fucked up, then I'm not that bad.
We also casually sit down on nice furniture and talk them into a void.
I mean, dude, this is the studio, the best guy's studio. I dare you to fucking find me a nicer one.
I know.
I don't think there's a fucking nicer studio out there, and I've seen a couple.
Yeah.
Okay?
Seen a couple fucking studios. My fucking day.
Okay, this is a question I like to ask people. And by people, I mean you right now.
Yeah,
If you had access, if there was like a control board of you, Ryan Don. What's your middle name?
Joseph.
Ryan Joseph Donahue. RJD, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph with an F?
No.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen that on man, the 90s. Side note, in the 90s, and I think it's kind of coming back, the biggest fucking thing you could wear were like worker shirts, like mechanic shirts.
Oh, yeah.
That you would buy at fucking Goodwill. I shopped at Goodwill for most of my teens.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, the Carhartt thing is like streetwear now.
Right.
And Bass Pro Shops, which is crazy.
Pro Shop. But I've never enjoyed doing it or seeing it, the ironic, which also it's not ironic, by the way. Let's just go ahead and say, just because if you wear the T-shirt of a band you've never heard of, that is not irony. That is sarcasm, poetry. Maybe it's poetic. I've never heard of this band, but I wear the T-shirt all the time. I don't think that's irony. I think irony would be wearing the T-shirt of a band you didn't know was a band, and you were using that T-shirt to inspire a band you were starting. Is that too much?
What about if you're doing it like I would like to wear the T-shirt of a band that's like local in like a shit town, like a dad band. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like there's a band in my hometown or like nearby, and they're just a bunch of like 40-year-old, 50-year-old, 60-year-old guys, and they have like merch that's like thongs and stuff, and like old leathery sea turtle ladies like buy their thongs.
But that's just awesome.
Yeah, that just kind of rules.
I don't think, but
I would wear that shirt ironically. I mean, I'm not a fan of the band, but I do like that they exist.
But I don't think that's what I'm saying.
I don't even know what irony is.
I don't think that's ironic. I think ironic is just a verbally, aesthetically pleasing word to say.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's irony, and people started using it wrong. Because I had someone recently. This is the sentence where I was like, we're talking about beards, and they go, man, dude, ironically, I was just thinking about growing a beard. I'm like, that's not irony at all. You just coincidentally.
That's coincidentally.
But people use it like that.
But people do wear a mustache ironically.
But what's the irony in it?
That they want to be interesting and they're not.
You see, that again, I think that's just...
No, I don't know.
That's just desperate. Then they're wearing it out of desperation.
Yeah, they are.
Because, okay, the best example I've ever heard of irony is a crematorium burns down and everything in it burns except the body that was meant to be burned that same day. That's irony. And the definition of irony is getting the exact opposite result of what you set out to do, I believe. Maybe
I thought that was failure.
I mean, that's right, but it's failure based on intent. So here you go. Here's a better example. You know the Atlantis Morissette song "Ironic"?
Sure.
None of the examples she gives are irony at all.
Rain on a wedding day?
None of them. Spoon when all you need is a knife or whatever, or a fork, whatever. All that shit. Plane crash. We've never flown a plane before.
So when she says, "Isn't it ironic?" the answer is no.
No, but her intent was to make a song about irony, and she failed. that is ironic.
Nice.
So the existence of the song Irony is ironic.
That's pretty good.
That's a great example, but that's what I'm saying. Like your irony cannot involve intent. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You can't be. Oh, so there you go. So you saying that you're
Already
doing something ironic
mixed.
is ironic.
Right.
Holy shit.
Oh, that's interesting.
Everyone who says they do something ironic out of irony when it's not ironic or irony at all is actually
It becomes ironic.
It becomes ironic, but
unbeknownst to them.
Unbeknownst to them.
Which I think might also be a definition. There's some level of like profundity or like omniscience inside of.
Nice words, dude.
Thanks, man.
Profundity?
Right, like it's like something beyond what you can do.
Is that real or did you just make that up?
You can do something. No, that's a word.
Profundity?
Yeah.
Like profound?
Right.
In the vein of profound?
Correct.
Profundity.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Omnipotent. Is that what you said now?
No, omniscient.
Omniscience.
Like, like the chief in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest or whatever.
Wait, omniscient, define that.
Like all seeing all things. So it's like you're saying you can't do something ironic. You can do something sarcastically, you could do something whatever, but you cannot do it ironically because irony is bigger than us.
Dude, yes, true. Irony, it's
a god thing.
The moment you acknowledge it and attempt it, you cease to actually be able to even understand it because you are now a pawn in its game.
Right.
Also, the fact that you just yanked One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Fantastic.
Well done.
Yeah, I love it.
Well done. Yeah,
Huge
great
fan.
movie.
Huge fan.
Great movie.
Even better book.
Excuse me.
Crazy. Such a corny thing to say, but
better book.
Do you know who the chief is? The narrator in the book.
I did know that.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I did know that. I did also. Did you know that when I first started doing stand-up in New Orleans, one of the guys who was like the older stalwart comedian of the scene got a part in the local production of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and it was the first play I ever saw.
Interesting.
Ever in my life at 23 years old.
Wow.
That's how little fucking theater mattered in New Orleans,
no, I didn't see a play until I was about that age. Yeah.
That was the first ever play I ever saw. Was a local New Orleans at the True Brew Cafe Theater. True Brew Cafe is also where I started doing stand-up. Doesn't exist anymore. It's now a restaurant. I don't know what kind of restaurant in New Orleans, but thank God. I was really worried about the restaurant business in New Orleans.
Yeah.
But didn't survive Katrina, that place. But it was like a back theater that sat maybe 85 people. But yeah, it was. And
was it good?
I mean, I remember going into it and just being like, kind of like, ooh, wow, a play.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude, one time I saw an ex.
They don't change anything.
Yeah.
You know?
I went to an ex-gal's play one time.
Yeah.
And they were like kind of miming like spoons and stuff. Like they didn't have the props for the thing, right? It was like so but it was good acting, but they were just pretending to eat or whatever. But then when it came time to like do some sexy stuff, they like fucking like she just got like dry humped by this dude in front of like everybody, and I was just like, I mean, you could have mimed that,
you could have found a way to like
suggest it or
show it.
But
right
it was
afterwards.
so weird because everything else was like with a hint of like suggestion, and then that was just like, yeah.
Well, that's the thing about.
And I was like, all right, my mom's here.
Well, that's the thing about. I've seen quite a few like off Broadway or like, especially in New Orleans. I started seeing like a lot of that theater world coming up. It's the same thing as like student films where they're like, this is art and we need to take the most perverted moment in it and just shove it down your throat so you fully understand it. Like,
right.
No, we get subtlety and nuance. And how about that? How about use that and make us
I
feel
noticed
it?
too, like a lot of like young actors, like they're like, oh, we're making a short. Like, dude, thank God I forget whose story this is.
Yeah.
But there was like a guy who was like helping his girlfriend make a short. I mean, he was like a camera guy.
Right.
And then she was an actress. And they broke up in the middle of like the project, but he still wanted to help her finish it. But like the script that she wrote was like her like kind of getting like banged by like dudes. And so he's like having to film and or leave and cry while his very recent ex-girlfriend just gets absolutely banged out.
But I mean, like,
I'm like, just admit that you want to do porn at that point.
Yeah. Okay, so it wasn't like.
I think it was pretty fucking,
Well, I mean, have you ever seen Brown Bunny? Do you know that movie?
No, it sounds awesome, though.
It's a guy named Vincent Gallo who you've seen in movies before. He directed, he stars in it. And his girlfriend at the time is Chloe Sevigny. You know who that is?
I don't.
Chloe
Offhand, I may know her by face.
If you ever see the movie Kids.
Not Kids, no.
You ever see the movie Kids?
No.
That movie, that movie fucked me up as a teenager. Because you were like, wait, that's what people are doing outside of Slidell, Louisiana? Just rolling blunts, beating people to death with skateboards and getting AIDS? Shit. New York seems crazy. Let's go. But like,
And then you get here and it's like,
yeah.
no.
It's literally weird if you make eye contact for too long.
Ironically, we're closed.
Yeah. Ironically, the train only runs every day.
Yeah.
It's ironic.
I know.
It's so weird.
Isn't it?
But fucking Chloe Sevigny, she's an actress. She gives him a real blowjob in the movie.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like a real scene.
She's actually doing it.
Actually, 100% doing it. Like his dick in her mouth.
He's like, we got to do another take, unfortunately.
I know, it's third one in a row, but
Unfortunately, I don't think I was hard enough.
it's to completion.
Wow.
Like you don't.
Well, okay, so what is this? Is that not porn?
The movie, if I remember correctly, because I've only seen the movie once, I've seen the clip a fucking lot. Listen, whatever.
Sorry.
I went through that phase where when I was looking at porn, I would go, you know what, movies.
Cinema.
Because some of
I'm
that
not a
shit's
hack.
fucking hot.
Yeah, sure.
Some of those like German or Norwegian films where they actually bone. Like, you ever seen?
I like a guy being
Nymphomaniac?
stuck up about what he jerks off to. Like,
Yeah.
I only jerk off to cinema, actually. It makes me... I bust harder if it's...
I can only come if it was shot on 35 millimeter.
Exactly. That's literally where I was going.
I prefer 16. It's grainier and more realistic. 16 mil.
Wait, you were saying something about this lady.
What lady?
Chloe, whatever. Just that she blew. Right.
But like that's what I'm saying. Where it's movies like
Yeah, it's a fine
or
line.
just
But at least
that there was a blowjob that happened.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Yeah.
But especially in like a short film made by like unknown, it's like the odds of this being good are already low, and then just to decide to be like, all right, we're gonna like nix the production. We're gonna not really write a lot of good dialogue, but like when it comes to like the part where like people's tits and balls get smacked around, we're gonna definitely like do that all the way.
I mean, dude, I want to like theater. Like that's what I think. That's the point here. Is like, I wish there were more. Like, I wish theater was more of a thing that we all gave a shit about and wanted to do more of. Because like, I've seen a good
some
play. Great theater.
Amazing, yeah.
I saw in Edward Albee. It was called, I've been to the zoo. I think that's what it's called.
Okay.
It's a play just between two people, and it's like,
which is great. That's great writing too.
Yeah, and it's like one guy
That's
doesn't.
kind of what this is.
Exactly. What, am I just talking and you're just listening?
I guess so.
Sorry.
No, I didn't know that was the case. You just said to play with two people.
Play with two people. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Best guys play.
Absolutely.
But like, I'm just saying, like but there's so much cinema or so many plays out there, so much theater that has to rely so heavily on like symbolism and like sort of like what does it all mean?
Well, they also price it out of reach for the mat, which is annoying.
Way the fuck
because more people would be interested if it wasn't. But that's part of what it is. I think is like it's built into it is that it's like this rich person, like golf or skiing.
Well,
it's like you can do it if you have the means, you know. So that's what the people who go there kind of like that part of it, and that's corny.
And that's corny as fuck.
But like the actual art of it is fun.
Well, like if you just had like if you and me wrote a 2-act play about just 4 people, I don't know, at an after party after a night of fucking drinking where shit just goes crazy. But it doesn't have to rely heavily on all the little tricks. It's just straight up. Here is 80 minutes.
Yeah, you're unrolling conflict between people over time.
This dynamic between these 4 people that unravels and then re-ravels itself, and now it's good. Apparently, I've never seen it. It's a good movie. Melvin Goes to Dinner. Bob Odenkirk directed it. It's a good movie. Apparently, that was a play first. I'm like, I could see that being a dope play.
Yeah, but
like more of that, less Huey Lewis in the News, the music. Like, who gives a fuck?
I know. Well, old weird people that you know. The first time I went to a play, I remember feeling like very like I was watching something I shouldn't be watching because I'm like, you're in the dark and you're watching very intimate moment between people. It's like you kind of feel like a peeping Tom.
Yeah.
At least when you're like 24 and like, you know, haven't ever figured out how to wrestle with this, whatever this is.
That's crazy because like one time I was like actually like looking in the window watching people have sex. They didn't know I was there. And I felt the opposite. I'm like, this is
a play.
this is theater. This is theater, and I could just yoink to it.
Yo, back in the day, me and my friends, we put a like a bike frame in a tree, and then we took 2 ropes and we tied the ropes to a lazy boy, and we like pulled it over the bike frame, so we had a suspended lazy boy recliner, much like bigger than the one you're sitting on,
some
suspended
people have
in
a
a
rope
tree.
swing. You had a lazy boy swing.
Lazy boy in a tree, yeah.
How long? But how long till it just collapsed on someone?
No, it was there for like
Really?
yeah, for like 10, 11 months, like while we lived there.
And just swung.
Yeah, and the plant, and so you could climb the tree and then hop down in it and read or whatever. And I have some photos, but the plan was initially to get like, because the leaves were falling down, and we wanted to take like a big bed sheet and then like put rocks to stabilize the sheet on the bottom and tie it to the and then project a movie, and it'd be like a 1-person movie theater sitting up in that tree. Which is like such a high idea that we never,
I mean, but the fact that you even started
to do it.
Yeah.
We started a lot of things like that. Like we would go to the McDonald's, right? One time we went to McDonald's on a rainy day.
I like how you said the McDonald's.
It was the McDonald's of the neighborhood.
Right there. It's like, oh, tell me you grew up in a small town without telling me you grew up in a small town.
Well, this is in Boston now.
McDonald's.
This is in Allston, Massachusetts. And we went to the McDonald's nearby, and we sat in there with a giant handle of Jack Daniels, and we
like just out in the open.
And we brought it in.
Like, no, I'm saying like just clearly like we're
no
not trying to hide this.
in a black bag.
Okay.
And then just kept getting free Coke refills like at the machine, and we just stayed in there and got wasted all day, right? And then on the walk home, we found like a giant mirror, like a door-sized mirror.
Okay.
Yeah, and we brought that home and we turned it into a table. Okay, and then the plan was to glue forks and knives and plates on the ceiling, so when you look down at it, it would be like a set table.
Oh.
But then we were so drunk that my cousin stood on it and it broke immediately.
And then the next 7 years of his life were fucked.
Oh yeah. Do you believe in superstitions like that?
No,
Being from New Orleans, I
do.
feel like
I have a whole bit about it, like superstitions. It's on my special, which is on Peacock right now. But it's all about superstitions were just early OCD. People just but it was OCD. It was people who had power, who were experiencing tics that OCD create and made them into law or folklore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, do you feel voodoo is in that, or is that a separate thing?
No, voodoo's a religion, more of it. Voodoo, all of that. Like voodoo's just a religion. Like I don't believe in any of that shit. Like even though it's scary, the idea of it's still like, fuck, that's spooky, dude.
I know, yeah, it never goes away.
Like I still don't break mirrors.
I did take a voodoo tour in New Orleans, and it was kind of cool. I didn't know that the voodoo doll was initially for healing. Like it was when a doctor would see you, he would like put a thing of like, oh, last time you were here, you had back pain.
I didn't realize that.
You know what I mean?
It was like, it was like fentanyl, which was used to like numb people out so they could have babies, and now it's used to kill people buying terrible Coke.
Yeah, or like Jesus' life, and then the Bible used turns them whatever people
They're
want.
all wrong, and you're right. Crowd control.
Yeah.
That's all it really is.
So you got to wonder, like, to what extent. I do believe people can do amazing things.
Sure.
And there's got to be, some people that saw the. Well,
I mean, what is it? They say there's a large percentage of our brains, something like
90.
Is it 90%?
That we're not using. Yeah.
That we're not using, and we also don't know what it does, or something like that. So it's like, yeah, of course I believe you can see. If you really want to see a ghost, you can see one.
I don't know if they're taking into account like the percentage of it that's helping all of our organs function at all times.
That's true too.
You know what I mean? Because like, have you ever like eaten a sandwich and then not been able to think for like while just?
I mean, it must be a fucking good sandwich.
Yeah.
What's on that sandwich? We get
like turkey.
Can I get extra Valium on that BLT?
Because turkey has a drug in it that will make you like nod out or whatever.
What is it? Oh no, Cody. I know the drug. Come on, it's not the one that makes you horny.
I'm not gonna guess it.
Because what's the chemical that oysters have?
Aphrodisiac.
Aphrodisiac.
No, that's not.
It's something like that.
It's not a chemical. That's just what they call things that make you horny.
I think.
But I don't know
oysters. Yeah, but tryptophan is the thing in turkey
I believe that.
that makes you not. Yes, let me get a turkey sandwich with extra fucking Xanax.
But I
on it.
literally like can't. You try to like eat and then go on stage, and you're like, oh boy, like all the blood is helping this sandwich digest.
Yeah, I mean that's why I'm carry more weight than my frame would suggest I should. Because for years, in my formative years, it was like, oh man, well I've been drinking all night. I'm home. Guess I'll eat a bunch of shit so I can go to sleep. There's a lot of that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
A lot of that.
And do we believe that to be true? The
What, sleeping after you eat a lot?
eating
Know it to be true.
eating
Factual.
No.
Non-ironic fact.
No, I'm saying the eating because we drank. I do believe that helps you feel better in the morning.
Well, okay.
I think you've said you don't believe.
I don't believe in the whole concept of waking up hungover and being like, you got to eat something shitty because it soaks up the alcohol. I'm like, what does that mean?
Right. We did talk about this.
We did talk about this.
I'm remembering that. Yeah.
But like, but no, I think it's the same thing with weed. Why you get the munchies? Not that it's bad for you necessarily. It's just an alien substance that your body wants to process out. So it makes you hungry, so that you eat, so that your digestive system gets involved, so that your blood starts pumping, your heart starts pumping more faster, and it cycles through your blood quicker and out of your body. I think. Were I a scientist or a doctor or someone who fucking read more than they should, I should.
But
read
I think
more.
marijuana is like as crazy to eat as like a McDonald's cheeseburger for your body. You know what I mean? Like I think your body is processing crazy shit all the time.
Well, yes,
because most of what we're eating and
it just doesn't
drinking,
have the same sort
like
of psychedelic.
Diet Pepsi, probably makes your body freak out more than marijuana.
Which, by the way, 6 weeks today, no diet drinks. How about that shit?
I've never heard anyone like use it like that.
Purposefully. So wait.
But you know to the day.
Wait, I might be wrong. Might only be 4.5 weeks. It was right before. It was right at the end of June. Yeah, I was just like.
I love that. That's like being like 6 weeks of the day, no green vegetables.
And you're like, whoa, wait a second. I ate a whole fucking thing of broccoli on my way here. No,
Do you have an addiction to diet soda?
I would drink diet soda. I drink 3 a day, and then like I noticed my neck started feeling stiff as shit.
Really?
Yeah, if I drank too many, and then I just read. I mean, apparently
aspartame.
It's the worst thing in the world for
It's like literally worse than a regular one.
Yeah, exactly. So now I just don't fuck with diet, and every now and again, like, dude, this like 2 weeks ago, I had a fucking cold Mexican Coke. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
dude.
the green bottle.
I could have cried. I could have fucking cried right there. I was sitting there I had a Cuban sandwich and a Mexican Coke because I care about the people.
That's right.
But God damn it, dude. And that's worth not having Diet Coke every fucking day for. God damn it.
Also, seltzer to me is like better tasting.
It does the trick.
It's amazing.
It does the trick.
And the trick, it is a trick. Like the bite is kind of what you're getting.
Exactly.
And it's every bit as hydrating as water, I've heard, which seems impossible. But I've read even. But it's like Google, so who the hell? The soda company probably wrote it.
I also love that like people who tell you how you shouldn't trust anything you read on the internet, and then you go, where do you get your information from? And they just without hesitation have a source that they wholeheartedly trust.
Yeah.
Where it's like, wait, but you're
Steve Harvey books.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, before the internet, 1 million books were published, and a lot of them were bullshit, if not like most like nonfiction.
Oh yeah.
Like there's a guy who wrote a book called you ever heard of Irving Goffman? He wrote The Study of the Self in Everyday Life.
No, but these are great titles and names.
So his whole thing was if you see someone reading on the beach, right? It's everything is performative. Everything is theater, right? To bring it back to theater. So he believes that like if you're reading on the beach, it's because you want to be seen reading on the beach, and like while that is like a decent point, I guess it's not everything all the time. So like the entire book, you get through it, and it's like, oh, so I'm to just believe everyone is constantly in a Truman Show style play, and like. It's like, just say you're a skeptic and, like, I don't know, write a book about that that's not, like, science. In my mind, it's kind of useless.
But I think there is a good point to the idea that we're all subconsciously
performing
on blast.
Sure.
Or not on blast, or like we're all subconsciously on, like.
Well, especially the people that go like they're on as being off because they have to be for work, like just working a normal job, and it's like I'm just a regular guy or girl, like kind of.
Because I also know that like if you put me in that situation, if I had a book on a beach, I'm not going to read the book because I'm on the beach, but I know I'm going to be like, oh, this will be cool reading on the beach.
Oh, like the act of this plus this.
Yeah. And if someone happens to see it and think the same thing, I'm not going to hate them for it. But also, like,
there is like, oh, sorry.
But you think about how many people we know or anyone knows in life. I don't think this is specific to just comedians, but like they're like, I don't give a fuck person. Who's like whole thing, their whole MO is I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
it's like
fully
but
dad.
you work real hard on making sure everyone's aware of that fact.
That's 100%.
Which means you totally give a fuck.
I think so. I actually I have the feeling or the belief that like when someone quote doesn't give a fuck, they care the most.
Yeah,
they just
like
don't know how to do it, like how to deal with it.
Like
it's like so much.
You to know they don't care, and it's like that's caring.
You care so much.
Yeah,
you
in
care.
Fact,
it's overwhelming.
Your need for people to know how much you don't give a fuck, and when you do actually give a fuck, might that be ironic?
That might be ironic.
Might that be ironic?
I knew you were going there.
You knew I was going there?
Yeah, but I just let
it.
it.
I thought I caught you.
No, I liked it.
I thought I was straight up.
I bet you got at least
6 sliding down from behind you. I thought I was getting you. I thought I was getting you with it.
Dude, SEAL Team 6.
SEAL Team 6, dude.
I don't even know about it, but I know.
DevGru?
I once sat next to a Navy SEAL on a plane, and he talked weird. And it was because his eardrum popped while he was like 300 feet below sea level, like underwater, and like his eardrum just fucking exploded.
And now it just sounds like it sounds like it's synth pop the whole time.
Yeah, and it's like,
he
dude,
went from drum set to synthesizer.
I can't.
In the eardrum.
The training that they go, I don't know enough about it to even like, but I just imagine it's absolutely insane.
From day one till the day you were like get your trident and you're like now you're out there. It's 3 years, I think.
Yeah,
and it's 3 years of like brutal, grueling, nonstop. Like
I do remember hearing there's something of like just like swimming miles in like ice cold ocean water.
I know they have to. I know they partner up and have to drown themselves. They both have to drown themselves and be revived. I know that's like a mandate. Like from what I've heard, it was like a part of it early on. Is like you and me and Ryan were partners. We're going to take turns jumping into the water,
inhaling it.
I'm going to go down with you. You're going to give me a sign. And then you're gonna pull your shit off and take a breath, and then I'm immediately gonna pull you up and revive you.
I mean,
and then we're gonna do that to each other.
Ultimate trust fall, dude.
That is fucking. But then after you do that, you're like, yeah, I'll kill. But also, in my experience, hardcore like special operator military like that, those are some of the funnest audience members you can ever have.
Oh yeah,
because they don't give a shit.
No,
they're not.
I know.
They're unoffendable.
Yeah,
you could shit on like the Navy in front of them, and they'll be like, "I know, right?"
Yeah, 100%.
They don't fucking care. Like,
dude, every time someone posts like a clip about like the armed forces, whatever, or like people dying, someone will be like, "This is insensitive to our people who serve," and then someone's like, "I serve," and I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
It's like kind of everyone who's upset just hasn't experienced the thing, because usually, if the joke is good, the people who it's about like it. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing I like seeing is when people get, like, especially now, are getting on being like, my relative
my aunt's friend
fought in this war and they didn't die to have transgender. And then, but then someone else will be like, no, actually, I just recently fought in a war and that's why I signed up. Oh, did we stop?
No, I don't know. I think just the monitors being weird, but we might be all right.
What are you thinking?
We are all right, but the monitors.
Sweet. Right there. Yeah, when that person's like, when someone like the reason I signed up to fucking fight in the military is so everyone can have their opinion and freedom of decision and choice, not just so they have to suck the cock of the people who went to the war. You know what I mean? Like it's like I appreciate seeing the actual motherfuckers who are like, no, this is why I signed up. I'm defending freedom.
Yeah,
and freedom means sometimes you disagree with people.
Speaking of which, I do love. That made me think of how before every single sporting event we're doing the national anthem, but I love to see it performed poorly. You know, like there was that lady who she said she was going to rehab right after.
Who just did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, was she hammered?
Yeah, I think she said she was hammered, but her performance was ungodly bad, and everyone was like, Jesus, God.
I mean, you ever see clips of that old Chad? Drop that clip of One day Chad will show up.
I know.
The clip of Roseanne when she sang the national anthem at the Padres game or whatever.
No.
Dude, it is hilariously fucking awful. It's
so
from
funny.
like the 90s.
But they knew it was going to be bad.
They may have. Uh-oh. What are we thinking?
No, it's still. It's,
good?
Yeah, that's been my computer's just being weird, but we're good.
But like, yeah, that they maybe thought it wasn't going to be great. I didn't think they knew it was going to be terrible.
Yeah.
And it was like people are booing, and apparently she like went down there. I know this because I opened for Tom Arnold once, years and years. We're talking about 12 years ago, longer maybe. Shit. 2011. Wow. Anyway, I opened for Tom Arnold.
That was a very old guy thing.
Yeah.
You know when people like old people like
remember,
and then go exactly back into it.
So I opened for Tom Arnold at the Orleans Casino in New Orleans, in Vegas, and that's all he did. He went out there and just told stories about Roseanne. That's it. It was a cash grab for him. You could tell.
Yeah.
But he told that story.
Yeah, you
every
love a
night.
good Q&A that eats up half the show.
Yeah. His big closer every night was talking about they took a private jet from LA to San Diego. She sung the song, they got back in the private jet, and by the time they landed in LA, her publicist was like, What have you done?
But like you can't sing, so she wanted to just go up there and sing it badly.
Also, whoever asked her to do it, like you fucked up.
100%.
Why are you yelling at her? Yeah.
But no, it's like me like hiring my mom to move a couch.
And yeah, she fucking breaks her back and the couch disappears. She sells it instead.
Yeah.
Like, Mom, I needed the money for my back.
That's not bad.
I'm Mrs. Donahue.
She's a little less waspy than that. She's more like
Hey, fucking Ryan. Ryan, are you podcasting right now?
No, that's Boston. You got to go. She's like, how you cats doing? You doing good?
Wait, where's that from?
That's Rhode Island.
Wait, how you cats doing? You doing all right?
That's Boston.
But isn't Rhode Island just a little deeper? I have no clue.
It's a little like Boston's very throaty. Rhode Island's a little more like mousy, like a little more like, hey, what the, like you got a tighter mouth.
Don't mess with me. I'm from Providence.
Like if you wanted to have your mouth be, you could do like a fucking Rhode Island guy.
Don't you step to me. I'm from Providence. You understand?
That's pretty good, yeah. It's kind of Italian. It's like weird. Like Rhode Island has this weird like macaroni Italian. Like it's like it has its own. Like you'll meet people who's literally it's like I'm Stephanie Spaghetti. Like it's like ridiculous.
I'm from Italia. My name's Bobby Ravioli. And listen,
100%.
Bobby Ravioli. Let me tell you something.
Hey,
right?
I'm Stevie Wheeler Cheese.
I worked my ass off so I could send my kids to Brown. You know what I mean? They didn't want to go there. They went to, where'd they go? Blue. I don't know. I don't know what that is.
And the craziest thing is that guy will be genetically 0% Italian.
Oh, no.
But it's just like my grandpa was like a completely Irish guy who just had like an Italian disposition because he grew up on Federal Hill.
When we was growing up, we'd drive up there to Mass, and they go, you're from Rhode Island, small state in the Union. I whip out my cock. I say, that's the biggest cock in the state.
Yeah, that would be kind of like the worst. That level of bad is exactly the type of humor that they would be. Like I used to get made fun of for having long hair in baseball, like in Little League, and I would wear loafers. I was kind of asking for it. But one kid's like, he comes up to me to try to make me feel better. I'll never forget it because he meant well, but it was like the stupidest line, and I even knew it then. He was like, hey, just say the longer the hair, the longer the dick, and the shorter the hair, the shorter the dick. And I'm like, yeah, I'll keep that in mind. Thanks, pal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like Hercules, you know what I mean? When they cut his hair, they cut his cock off.
Dude, one time...
That's why he couldn't have no strength no more.
One time in Little League, I was pitching, and I hit a kid in the helmet, but he swung and struck out. So I like hit him in the head, and it was a strikeout at the same time. It's kind of like the ultimate fuck you.
Fair enough, dude. You know what I mean? That guy can't pick up a bat no more. He can't see out the left eye. I feel like I'm doing it. I feel like I'm doing good in Rhode Island right now.
Now it's becoming like Rocky Balboa a little bit.
Yeah, Rocky, you know, maybe he had relatives up in Providence, up in New Bedford.
An old lady Rhode Island is my favorite. She's like, okay, well, I had some toast, and there was a little coal, so I decided to put on my coat.
Oh, okay.
And
I'm going up. I'm taking a drive today down to Harvard, up to Harvard.
no, that's Boston.
No,
dude.
I'm going up there to pick up my son.
No one in Rhode Island is going to Harvard to pick up their son.
Not going. Where am I going then?
Because
I'm in Rhode Island.
You're going to other road, like somewhere in your town.
I'm going to New Bedford.
Because here's the thing: if you grew up in like Texas or something, driving an hour and a half is nothing because it's a huge fucking
If
place.
you drive an hour and a half from Providence, you're in like
you're in another
3
state.
states away.
So everyone's like, "I'm not driving 20 minutes. What are you out of your fucking mind?" You know.
The whole state's on. Wait, is there not just like statewide public transportation?
There's not. No, I mean, there's like some in buses in Providence, but
what is it though? Didn't Providence? You said Italian. Didn't it actually have a pretty huge mafia presence?
Oh
though?
yeah, for sure. I mean, everyone and their cousin like knew a guy who was pretty involved. That's all I have the liberty to say because none of this is true. You know.
Yeah, that's all I have the liberty to say because there ain't no more. There ain't no more to say. It's bullshit.
I love this one. I love the. Let's just say it was, and it's like okay, because there's nothing else to say.
Yeah.
Is that why?
Let's just say that's the end of the story because the guy he one time he met a guy who had his hair slicked back, so he assumed.
Dude, which is so funny because really they're not lying. They're just planning something in your head that makes you lie to yourself.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Like let's just say it was pretty heavy involvement. And like that's like as vague as you can get, and then you're in your head like, okay, he probably killed some people, and now you're just telling lies on his behalf, but he didn't have to do any of it. It's actually a smart move.
When I first moved here, there was this fucking shitty. There's this open mic. It's a place called Legion. You ever hear about Legion Bar?
Yeah.
It's really.
I remember it.
Not when I was here. The open mic there.
Yeah.
There was an open mic there when you got here.
Yeah.
That's wild. Okay, that's good to know.
Right,
So,
Legion Bar was
in Bushwick.
Yeah.
In Bushwick, Brooklyn. So
was that the one with the car in the back of it?
No, it had just like it was just like a basic like bar, and it had a little performance area in the back. It was actually like
all right.
a nice bar.
All right, what do you think? My bad.
The bartender there, when we would go do this open mic, this was like 2007. The bartender, and it was a daytime open mic. It was on Saturdays. You'd show up at 4 to sign up, and the mic was at 5, and it was only ever like 15 people. It was a great mic, but no one was there. Anyway, the bartender there, one of them was just like, listen, Long Island guy.
That's another one.
Acted like he was fucking talking about being connected, and I remember I can't remember exactly. I want to say it was Norman, but it wasn't Norman. Anyway, someone left without paying their tab, and it was like an accident. And he's like, you don't want to do that to a guy like me, I mean, like I'm just saying. I remember he was like, I'm just saying, my cousin was a Gotti, and you know what that guy did. And then we're like, what? We're like, yeah, we all Gotti, like John Gotti. And then he used this example where he was like, which is this very famous John Gotti story of John Gotti's neighbor that accidentally killed John Gotti's kid. You know that story? Like backed over him by accident, killed him.
Bummer,
and then got acquitted because it was an accident and was very sorry. But then John Gotti had him killed.
Of course.
And he's like, so he tells that story, and he's like, so you kind of don't want to, that's my blood. You kind of don't want to mess with it. And we're like, you're talking about a guy not paying a $8 bar tab,
which doesn't come out of your pocket,
versus someone who kills a man's son by accident, and the father unfortunately happens to be a powerful underworld figure, so his grief manifests into murder. You're saying these are the same fucking thing, guy?
Yeah.
So who's fucking tab? So we all a few of us I know it was $8. A few of us chipped in because we were all so broke. We all a few of us put up $5 and just paid the guy.
I mean, what? Yeah, and he
was like,
he probably believes that he. Do you think that kind of guy doesn't think he's lying when he says his cousin is this famous?
I think he probably is not lying, but also does that anyone in the higher up of the Gotti family has no fucking clue
who
that guy is.
I would argue
Roger or whatever his fucking name was, Raji.
I would argue
Reggie?
that he
Who fucking cares?
He's using the term cousin very loosely,
which you can use very loosely.
Which is those
some people
those
use.
Kinds of guys
when
like
it's they do it the other way too. It's like, she's my cousin. I can do it. We can fuck. It's like, you can. That's a big Southern thing. That's also a big thing. I don't think it's just. I don't think more incest happens in the South.
I think
it does other places in the world.
I think it happens in underdeveloped areas of the country.
Of the world, yeah. Of the country. I mean, I definitely know people who have told me in confidence, which is why I'll never say full names or addresses,
But
that they've banged cousins that I know.
First cousins?
Like,
not that it matters.
Cousins of I'm not gonna. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Which I get.
You get it?
I've never done it, but I straight up can tell you there are at least 2 cousins I can think of off the top of my head who I would see like once every other year, and we were the same age. Where like if back when we were both like 21, if there'd have been a night hanging out of drinking, and it's like, hey, you're my second cousin, which means means no blood relation. Let's just do it. Let's just go for it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, let's go. Fuck it. I don't think I'm alone in that completely unnecessary reveal. I don't think I am. I think everyone who comes from a large ass family has that one second cousin who you only see once, like every other year. They don't come to the Christmas event every year or the summer thing, but they show up every other year, and you're 19 or 20, 21, and you're like, oh, you drink too? Oh, you smoke weed too? And you have that moment where both of you are like, oh, shit, if we weren't cousins, we'd probably be hooking up right now.
You're probably right about it happening as frequently up north, because if you think about what the country is, it's a lot of just like underdeveloped area. You know what I mean? Like there's a way more space than there has been like time for people to inhabit it. So there's a million places all over the country where you could just drive like 6 or 7 miles and like not see another house, for example, or whatever, you know?
Sure.
Like I don't think we really think of this country as like you've had 265 years. You know, the oldest tortoise is 189, I believe, or 191. Yeah. You know, so it's like
it's a younger country.
Charlie Sheen plus turtle equals America.
I mean, also, Charlie Sheen. Let's add that as an equation.
Sure.
How many Charlie Sheens is that? How many Charlie Sheens is America? 6 Americas? Okay, good to know.
6 Charlie Sheens, I think.
Or 6 Charlie Sheens is what I meant.
But either way, it's like that's not enough time to inhabit all of these acres, you know? So there are like fully like woodsy, you know.
I mean, dude, if you've ever driven from
inbred crazy shit going on.
If you've ever driven from like San Antonio, Texas to El Paso, that is 8.5 hours of absolute nothing. Mm-hmm. Or like certain parts of if you've ever driven from fucking Butte, Montana to what's it, the other one? Missoula. It's a lot of just open mountains. I
haven't been to Montana before.
Montana fucks hard.
Yeah, I bet it's
Montana's fantastic.
A lot of probably fucks cousins, honestly.
I mean, actually, but that's the thing. I think more cousin fucking, I would say, would happen in the more developed areas where you try to have people keeping a bloodline pure.
Who's doing it to that?
I think people still do it.
Really?
I think like the Kennedy world or like the Rothschild, but that's British. They're British, I believe.
Yeah, Brits are inbred, right?
Not all of them.
Yeah, I've heard every single Brit is inbred. I may be wrong. I don't know. That's what I heard.
I don't know every single.
4chan said it was true.
Oh yeah, okay, of course, yeah. Don't fact check it. You should do your research. Check your facts, like I do when I go to this one website for all my info.
Yeah, or that's some terrible, idiotic book.
Well, that's the thing. Speaking of idiotic, or inbred or anything wrong, to my original question, if you could access.
All right.
The panel of Ryan Joseph Donahue. Mm-hmm. And you could make some adjustments. Like it was a soundboard. Like your whole personality was on a soundboard. It's like, okay, I want to tweak this insecurity, but like a soundboard, if you tweak this, you also got to tweak this. So if you want there to be more bass in your personality, then you got to turn down the treble too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like what would you increase and what would you decrease to make up for that increase?
I would probably decrease like my defense mechanisms against like thoughts and memories of like painful shit, like like the way, and funny would suffer as a result of that, I think, on some level temporarily. Right? But then later, I think it's much like the eagle that I told you about earlier.
Wait, tell everyone about the eagle. I don't think everyone knows this.
So yeah, this would be an eagle move for me. I would absolutely turn down the defense and like be able to access more of like the garbage of all of this and like not shy away from that. And I think ultimately it would serve me, and I think that's kind of what everyone's doing in life, to be honest, on some level. But anyway, the eagle thing, at 40 years old, eagles have eaten and flown and killed so much that their claws are now very dull and their beaks are very dull. So they have two choices. They can either die because they can no longer kill and hunt for food, or they can smash their beak on a rock and like smash it off, and then it like very painfully grows back over the course of a couple months, and it grows back sharp, and then they take that sharp beak and they rip their talons out individually, and then they will also grow back sharp. And this is like a 160-day thing, and if they do that, if they go through that pain, they will live another 30 years usual. So it's like 70 years. You're adding 30 years to your life just because you were willing to go through some excruciating, crazy self-inflicted pain.
For 3 months.
For longer. 3 months, yeah.
160 days
but
is
dude,
more like
smashing
5
your
months.
beak off?
Dude,
Can you imagine smashing your beak off?
But that is a great... I'm going to start using that for like when you got those weeks where you just got to go internal and kind of disappear. It's like, hey, man, I got to go smash my beak off. Like, oh, I get it. Yeah. And then after that, I'm going to have to pull my talons out. You get it. But
yeah.
I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Truly the opposite of like, because smash my beak off almost sounds like a euphemism for masturbation.
I'm going to smash my beak off, dude. I mean, just actually, that should be like a verbal Rorschach.
How do you mean?
Like you say that to someone with no context and see how they react. Like, hey, man, smash my beak off. And it's like, what, you going to go jerk off? Or they're going to be like, oh, you're going to go self-heal? Or they're just going to be like, oh, you're going to do crack? Is that a new thing for smoking meth?
Yeah. I mean,
smash my beak off. Just say it to someone. Don't give them the context. Context. That's like the, oh, man, that's the contact. The context is your eye, bro. What you see.
Making context is when you punch someone in the face and they sue you and you have to pay.
Or
context.
Or when you punch someone in the face, but as you're doing it, you shout the reason.
You're giving context for the contact.
Giving them the context.
You molested me when I was 5.
Yeah. That's the context. Contact.
You made good context there.
You bullied me and fucked my insecurities and made me over self-aware for most of my life.
I can't even finish this sentence.
I'm going to punch you again.
You're the reason.
I'm going to punch you again, and that's why.
Yeah. I do think even bullying, like that's kind of what that I think comes from on some level is like someone just doesn't have the verbiage to like say what they think or feel. So they're like, your face,
Yeah. I'll just hit you instead.
Yeah, well, it's like because I'm just so frustrated at my lack of ability to grab words.
Yeah.
That's usually when people get pissed. And then they get really mad. It's because they can't say why they're mad for whatever reason, right? Because it would be like, quote unquote, gay to like say that you're sad or something.
Yeah.
So then they like just choose, or not even choice. They like have to get pissed instead, and then they can't articulate why they're mad, and that makes them more mad. Kind of horrifying.
I wonder when the backswing on gay is gonna start happening.
What do you mean?
Well, because I feel like 12-ish years ago. It was like, sometimes I gotta think fart,
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes I gotta break the wind in my own fucking psyche.
Let's go.
But I feel like 12-ish years ago, like being like, oh, that's gay. People were either like, all right, well, nobody says that anymore. Or you could be like, yeah, it's complimentary then. Because if I'm gay, I'm probably well off and educated.
Yeah.
And now it's like, a lot of people's it's some people's whole fucking
personality.
Punchline.
Yeah,
Their whole personality is like, that's gay.
Yeah.
And it's big and accepted now because stupidity is big and accepted and celebrated in a lot of art these days.
Yeah.
A lot of art these days. But everything is cyclical. So when will the swing? Because you kind of start to feel the swing back happen.
Well, I would say there's some level of like initially it was like fully lodged in homophobia, right? And then the swing back occurs because everyone's like learning. Like this is kind of how society seems to work.
Yeah, it's not homophobic
and now
anymore.
It's not okay at all. And then we come back and it's like now we know that we took that time and now we say it with like irony.
Or just see, I don't know what that would be. I don't know.
Or like self-awareness, I suppose.
But I hear what you're saying. It's like
it's not hate. It's not just hate. Yeah,
you're just saying it non-hateful.
It's not just lazy.
Poetically.
Yeah. Or like saying it knowing that you're
facetious. I think that's the word.
That might be a word.
I think that's what that is. You're saying it facetiously. Where
Yes.
It's like you're not being sarcastic, but you don't mean it.
Right.
Look at that. We know words.
Right. So
Best
then,
guys know words.
Right, because if we didn't, we get pissed. So yeah, then if it goes, but I mean, like, if you're, I don't know. I mean, I don't know when it'll swing back if it needs to even.
Yeah, I mean, if you just
Because there's like very few people that I know that are like I don't know. It's just so hard to hate gay people. They're like kind of the most fun. The only people who I know.
Yeah.
Or have ever witnessed hate gay people are deeply closeted people. That's the
Pretty
only
much.
people that I've
Pretty
like
much.
been, like if you are
much.
outwardly homophobic,
Yeah.
I'm 100% assuming that you're gay.
Or like, or you're just because you meet a lot. Because I've met a few people that are like, just the idea of homosexuality to them is like, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
I'm like, that means you've gayed before,
Yeah, in your mind, yeah.
or just maybe once in real life.
You're like, just a guy just spitting on his beautiful hot cock.
Yeah, it's so fucking.
It's
because
gross.
otherwise, I don't see the point in being. It's like, fuck, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I kind of don't care. Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
it's like,
to hate it so vehemently is to kind of like hate that you love it. I mean, in my mind, I mean,
just need it so bad.
I think
wanna
there's-
bash it.
I think so many people are closeted. It's absolutely insane. Like in my mind, and you may have a different opinion on this, but I believe that like guys will be like, yeah, Eiffel Tower. I've never participated, but I'm saying like. Or even really been close friends with people who do this, but I know that's
What,
like
been to Paris?
nice. No, people who like two guys banging a chick.
Oh, Eiffel Tower. Okay, the
yeah.
You like
but I'm like, if you're two dudes, like two buddies running train on it, like that is gay, no? Like
I
even
mean,
if you're both having
it's like the best way to see your friend naked.
right, and
Yeah.
we're both having sex with a chick, so it doesn't matter that we're both coming and looking into each other's eyes, like.
Also, it's like there's a way. Like today, a fellow comedian, we were texting back and forth, and he sent me a fucking dick pic for no reason.
That's
But
insane.
but also,
Can I guess who it is?
Yeah,
Ari Shaffir.
yeah. But it's not like. But he does it, and it's like that's funny to me. I'm
Yeah,
like,
well-
ha ha ha. We've all seen fucking Ari's cock so many
Yeah,
times.
yeah,
and you're
yeah.
like, ha ha ha, funny.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I know people
Who would get enraged?
who would just be like, what the fuck?
Why
dude?
do I? What the hell?
Why
man?
am I jerking off to Ari's cock now?
Yeah.
And you're like, that's just fucking funny.
You threw this sweet, perfect cock into my life.
This, believe it or not, cut cock.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
Well, no,
Jewish.
you would-
Never mind. Yeah,
yeah.
never mind. Forget. I had that one backwards.
Absolutely cut.
But yeah, but like dude, there's definitely people out there who are. There's also
Dude,
like,
did you hear about the RNC? Whenever the RNC goes into
Milwaukee, it shut down to Tinder.
well, yeah, the Tinder, the CEO of Tinder was like, "This is our Super Bowl." That's an actual quote.
No shit.
He's like, whenever the RNC is coming into town, like Tinder goes fucking, not Tinder,
Grinder.
Grinder.
Yeah.
Grinder goes absolutely berserk.
Because they're all. I mean, dude, you see. I mean, fuck. What the fuck? It's like a big slathery cock.
Pause.
But the
Literally pause.
You see that shit here in New York for sure. Growing up in New Orleans, for sure. Once Pride Month became a thing, though. But like, I remember. So,
But dude, what is gay culture? It's just they're having a fucking blast. You know what I mean?
yeah, they're just not.
They're just literally partying and wearing bright colors
yeah,
and
just
fucking
like,
hanging out.
I have horns. I have wings.
Like what the hell?
I'm a demon. I'm a succubus.
Occasionally they
I
might
party.
like make you feel sexy, and
Yeah,
if you're
exactly.
not like a
Yeah.
crazy person,
It's
you're like,
wild.
oh, thanks for the
I'm
compliment.
gonna compliment your eyes, and they match your ass, and it's amazing. And I'm gonna talk like this.
Yeah, and it's like,
And,
okay,
it's kinda
great.
Like I kind of trust people. Who
It's
talk like
kind of
this.
more fun than someone just being like, I'm allergic to fun until I've had 48 beers, at which point I.
Yeah, dude. It is also funny though too, because like, but Pride, like I don't know. So for the last day of Pride, there was this big fucking shindig at Washington Square Park in the West Village, and I had a set at the stand and then a set at the cellar. Washington Square Park is dead smack in between those
Right.
two, and I had a good 90 minutes to kill. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go fucking walk through the park. And I tell you what. Gay people are fun as fuck, but the notion that gay people are more sophisticated than straight people was out the fucking window
No, that's
that
not-
day, bro. There were, I mean, I saw so many fights,
Yeah.
and like gay fist fighting is on a different level because they're in better fucking shape than most straight men. Not all of them. A lot of gay dudes are very physically health conscious, and a lot of them have some repressed or oppressed fucking rage.
Sure. That makes sense.
Dude,
gay fights? You saw some gay fights?
Yeah, saw two gay fights, but
in 90 minutes.
Truthfully about 17 minutes walking through the park.
That's literally like
I walked right into one. I'm like, damn, and they broke it up. And then the second one, a dude hit another dude with a cooler. I was like, I've never even seen that at like LSU tailgating events.
Yeah.
A dude just, you know those
because there's beer in those.
Well, the guy straight up
sanctimonious about the beer.
Sure, but there was probably Trulies. In this one,
wine coolers.
Yeah. But the dude, like, you know how they have that, some of them have that handle that lifts up now?
Yeah.
The guy straight up just thwarted it, just like grabbed it, went into a full rotation, and bop, caught the guy in the fucking side. And then
if that hits you in the head, that's gonna
dude, it was wild. I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And there was so many cops not doing shit, which I think was smart in the sense that because cops get involved, then all of a sudden it could become a fucking, like both fights I saw handled themselves in minutes.
Yeah.
They happened and then they chilled. So I guess by that rationale, maybe a little more sophisticated. Because yes, at like a tailgating event, that might have turned into a whole
like you kicked my brother.
60-person brawl. Yeah.
Right. Your tooth landed on my brother's shoe, so now I'm going to fight your brother.
Because you want to hope that gay men also, because they're still men, which so it doesn't mean, it's like they're still men. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's why performing, if you're a not gay dude, performing in front of all gay audiences can be fucking nightmarish.
Sure.
Because they're still dudes. Like, that doesn't remove the Y chromosome. So, like, now you're in a room full of guys who can and will fuck each other and kind of don't give a shit what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, yeah. In that, I do think to the point of, like, higher evolved, I would get an air of, like, oh, you're like, not... Like, yeah.
You're not gay.
You just don't feel like you would fit in that. Yeah, that's a tough one.
I do think there might be, and just because you see it enough, there might be a correlation between certain types of talent and homosexuality. You know what I'm saying? Mm. But I think it goes the other way too. Like, I think there's
the straightest guys are super talented,
or like, but talented at different things.
I would say the straightest guys are gay. I think I don't know,
and the gayest guys are straight. Just goes back full circle.
I don't think there'd be no reason to. Actually, I mean, maybe. Who knows?
Well, you take, I don't know, who's a fucking. I mean, now we're just comparing. Now we're just contrasting and comparing. But I'm saying, like, you take like a super fucking talented. Who's a Mateo Lane?
Yeah, sure.
Insanely talented gay comedian, can sing operatically, funny writer, great performer.
Can draw, paint,
cook apparently as well.
And a bit of an Adonis in
he's fucking
physical
just
features.
Ripped.
Yeah,
but like take him and make him access his motherboard and make him fully heterosexual. Is he now just great at like UFC? Is he a UFC fighter?
I think he might just be like kind of out of shape and didn't realize his potential.
Didn't give a fuck, yeah. Which would be Matthew Lane living in Chicago.
Yeah, literally
owning serving sausages to fucking get a hot beef here.
Yeah, because there is like I can actually understand like there is like a higher level of critical thought necessary when you're like, oh, I am like a different thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
I'm not just like the run.
Absolutely.
Not just a Fenway Frank.
Yeah.
You know, and so that all of that would probably
Yeah, I mean that's an interest because like if I could access my motherboard, like I would turn way down my ability to instantly hate and blame myself for everything.
Yeah,
because I constantly I doubt myself so fucking much, and I immediately blame everything, not even shit that happens to me, just. That's a side effect. It's an OCD thing as well, but like
like I farted, so this happened.
So there you go.
So 9/11 happened.
I would actually I would turn my OCD way the fuck down. I would turn it from where it's at now, which is probably like an 8.5. Turn it down like a 2.
Yeah.
Because there's certain attributes you develop from like I think I pay more attention to shit that no one acknowledges at all because of.
Yeah, and probably keep like a cleaner space or whatever.
No, not necessarily. I'm a pig, but I pay attention to the mindset of someone who needs a clean space more than most.
Right.
And I see the attributes that kind of like branch off of that kind of human being. Like I think I've paid so much more attention to the human psyche growing up because I'm constantly overanalyzing my own.
Yeah.
So like so I don't want it gone, but I just need it to turn down. So turn it from an 8 to a 3, then I'm not allergic to anything.
Do you think your allergies would go up?
No, but that's why that would be the sacrifice. I'd be like, okay, if you let me turn my OC down to a 3, I'll now take on shellfish and I don't know, fucking legume allergy.
Legume.
And I love beans, so maybe not beans, but let's take my allergy from a 0 to a fucking 5, and whatever that manifests to.
Allergies, yeah, I'm
not allergic to. I'm allergic to absolutely nothing.
That's a huge bummer, especially if you're like a bodybuilder, but then dust just sends you into a tizzy.
Nothing. I've never experienced. I don't know what that feels like.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. You're just like
you're a 300-pound beast, but then if you eat a nut, you like die.
Exactly. Yeah, that would be my first thing on the motherboard.
This is a very weird question. Is how they say like bodily fluids taste different based on your diet, right?
That's what I've heard.
Right? Like that is a thing. I don't know.
I think pineapple. That's the big eat pineapple and you come candy.
And then fucking asparagus, the opposite, right?
I mean, asparagus is factual.
Does that mean that what you're peeing out is the thing you ate or drank?
No, I think it's a chemical. It's like a chemical.
Okay.
You're not. I mean,
you're
not urinating asparagus spears. No.
No.
Or liquid.
Or any. So there's no ingredients of asparagus in your.
I'm
pee.
sure there are.
Here's my question.
Okay. Golden showers.
If you have a nut allergy and this guy just eats like 40 pounds of nuts and then busts a nut or pisses on you, do you get an allergic reaction? Like, is there nuts in his piss?
Fuck, dude. I would actually love to do a study on this, but not me personally.
Right, no, of course not. Very straight, best guys.
I mean,
it's a good question.
I have been on airplanes where they tell you, like, someone on the plane has a nut allergy, so please.
Oh, they won't serve, yeah.
Right. That's just in the atmosphere,
in the air.
But that's just the idea of the nut.
But this has been processed through your body, and
but does it still have the thing?
Yeah, right. Enough. Like if you ate enough nuts.
So, but then by that rationale, if you eat a bunch of nuts and the piss and the jizz do nothing, does the poop? Because that would have the waste
of the nut
in there as well.
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah, so don't get shit on.
So if you're like super kinky with a nut allergy, you might have to like really watch out.
This is a great torture device for someone who's a terrible human being, but also has a nut allergy. You just fucking kidnap them and run a bunch of.
You just like eat nuts and then piss
in their face for days. Have different people eat different nuts. Like I'll be cashews, you be pecans. Yeah, we'll see which nut.
Either way, they're getting pissed on, so that sucks.
Right.
Like that is torturous. But then you also might die from each piss. I think the threat of death, while the humiliation of getting pissed on, would be even more effective in torturing you than actually having an allergic reaction on some level.
Oh shit, dude! That's when the fucking alarm's gonna go off.
It's the piss. It's the piss.
It's the piss alarm going. The nut alarm going. Oh,
they're talking about
someone's allergic.
Nuts and piss again. Dude.
Well, that now you know what? Now that I'm glad we're both Kate. We just figured out what to do. A whole new interrogation method.
Dude, if you find out your enemy has like one of those allergies, man, that's some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Because like you really couldn't prove. You know what I mean? I guess there is like a way, like forensics and shit probably, but there would be some way of like just sprinkling shellfish on something.
But nut allergies too, I think. Like, I don't think nut allergies are like bisexuality where you hear people now be like, everyone's bi. You're like, no, probably just people are always many people are bi. They're just more comfortable bragging about it now.
Yeah.
But like
bragging is the correct word, by the way. Yeah.
But I think like nut allergies, I don't think as many people were allergic to nuts in the 18th century, and now we're just seeing it more. I think it's something that developed in the past like 40 years.
Maybe, yeah.
I never knew a human being that was allergic to nuts in the 90s.
No, I don't remember that happening.
I don't remember it being a thing till like fucking post Katrina.
You think Katrina did it?
I think Hurricane Katrina did it.
Dude, New Orleans people just blame a lot of shit on Hurricane Katrina?
Not anymore, but yes, there was a while. But also it's
like the Saints lost again, goddamn Katrina.
It was post Katrina, they won a Super Bowl though, so you know what I mean? Maybe it came in and wiped away their bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Katrina came and flooded training camp and all the fucking bullshit juju went away.
Dude, I kind of think if you have a nut allergy or a shellfish, if you know you have like a deadly allergy, I think it would be harder to be a complete asshole to people.
All right. Right now. Oh, yeah, of course.
Right?
Well,
I just want to meet like the cocky like piece of shit who like openly has a nut allergy and is just kind of like fucking pussy, you know? But
I
then
guarantee that person exists.
I mean, I'd like to meet them and study their brain.
I guarantee that exists, and they are aware of their weakness.
Oh, and they're compensating for it?
And they're overcompensating for it, and will one day fucking die. One day, someone will figure it out and just shove a fucking handful of fucking macadamias in their face.
You wouldn't even need to do that.
And ironically.
Yeah, it would just be like
Not
a
even
little,
ironically.
like a little cocaine vial, and you could just sprinkle the fucking, crushed up. You know?
You had to choose one thing right now. One thing that you're deathly allergic. Are you allergic to anything regularly?
No.
Okay, sweet. One thing you are deathly allergic to. I'm talking, you come in contact with it, you are fucking dead. But you have to choose right now. What is it? Remember, allergies are everything, so it doesn't even have to just be food.
Yeah. Man, that's really tough because, maybe like puffer fish or something. Like some kind of food that I would never really encounter.
Okay.
But then the ocean becomes a scary place.
Yeah, then you're keeping yourself a land lover. I get it.
Like, because it can't. I mean, if you like, kind of everything is everywhere at all times.
Yeah.
What would be a smart answer to that question? I wonder.
I mean,
maybe American eagles, bald eagles. That's a good answer. Because you'd never see, even if you saw one, it wouldn't be. Who's coming into contact with a bald eagle?
I mean, you, Mr. fucking knowledgeable about eagles.
Yeah, but
then if you so like you see one, you're like, oh shit, don't let it get too close to me.
But it's not gonna.
What if it does?
I did see a seagull take a full lobster roll from a lady.
That's fucking funny.
It was really funny, and ate the whole thing right in front of her. And she was like, "Oh God!"
Seagulls, she made a seagull sound. Is that what she did? She went, "Ah!" That's a sound he just made.
And he was just like, yeah, it was awesome. I was with Tommy Pope. It was pretty beautiful to see that. But anyway,
Tommy fucking Pope,
the man.
We shout out Tommy Pope on this podcast. And Chris, whatever his last name is, he's my best friend.
What O'Connor?
What the fuck? O'Connor. Jesus Christ. Sorry, bud.
What is your, if you have to pick? I'm going eagle, bald eagle. That's a good answer.
I'm going looking in the mirror and saying I love you to myself.
Oh, it's that vague?
It could be that. It can be that. Like I'm allergic to. No, that's too fucking hacky and dumb. I feel like this whole idea of like I can't love myself. Fuck off. We should all be loving ourselves more.
This is like a guy like trying to process his hatred of gays and understanding that he is himself is gay.
Yeah, it's like I'm realizing like, hey,
I just do want to love myself.
I gotta start trying. It would be fuck, man. Because I want it to be something that if I just decide to end it all, I could also access.
See, usually people, when they ask these kinds of questions, they have an answer stocked up. Like they know what they want to say, and that's why they're asking the question. Because
I like to ask,
but
questions,
I like that you do that.
No answer in there. I would. You know what I would do? I would do something like, I'm allergic to whatever the steel that fucking barbells are made of.
That's everywhere, though.
Yeah, you're right. Fuck. See,
it's tough.
Yeah, it's hard.
You got to choose like an endangered species because you could still find it.
I want it to be something. That's what I'm saying. But something I'd have to like trek and find.
Yeah,
because
I could get access to an American eagle, dude.
Because I also want it to be something
midnight,
where it's like
bro.
if I find out I got I'll get you an American eagle before the sun comes up.
That's right.
All right. By that rationale, then, if it was an animal specifically, no, I like animals though. I don't want to be an animal. I fucking know, dude.
The platypus?
Jacksonville, Florida.
That's not bad. But then if someone's from there, are they carrying it?
No, I mean, I would know. Because I don't hate Jacksonville. What city do I hate?
Montgomery, Alabama.
Montgomery, Alabama. Do you know it? Sorry, people in Montgomery. I would be allergic to the city of Montgomery. If someone's traveling it, if someone is away from it long enough, it fades.
Yeah.
like dander or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Like if they've left there and haven't been there in a year, you're fine. But if they just got there, I get sick and
You could
like,
get.
are you from Montgomery?
But if you go there,
Yeah. But if I ever just
you
want to
get the cold sweats
if I ever
and
just
start
want to
shitting.
die, I go to Montgomery, Alabama.
That's fair.
And just fall into a deep, deep sleep. That's gonna be fucking hilarious when, hey, best guy. You know who's the best guy in Montgomery, Alabama? There ain't one. He left.
Yeah.
He left when the town decided to be a piece of shit. Anyway, sorry Montgomery, but not big.
And with that,
We're leaving.
Goodbye.